and welcome to the new year. My name is AC.
And my name is Nick. And Trailer Park is back, baby.
2021 had such high highs and such low lows that we needed all of January to process it.
This week we've prepared for you an in memoriam.
A yearly review.
A yearly review of 2021's worst, horrendous, absurd trailers of the year.
Keep in mind, of course, that there are so many trailers in a year that we had to try and narrow our scope down to the most truly heinous offenders. We started this channel with the belief that trailers are an art form unto themselves and deserve to be criticized and lauded.
And deserve a chance to go to heaven.
Not these ones!
If they repent their sins.
They'll have to
That's
repent.
why we are here.
That's why we're here. We're bombarded with bad trailers so often that it can feel like it's the norm. A series of soulless commercials fed to us by the algorithm.
We went back and reviewed trailers from 2021 and only 2021 for a total of 8 hours.
Speaking of algorithms, if you enjoy the content on our channel and want to see more of us, please subscribe and smash that like button. We'd love to have you join us for 2022. We've got great content coming up, including the best trailers of 2021 coming next week.
All right, get ready for the worst of the worst. Seriously, what did we do to deserve these on top of everything else in the world? What are our rules? No student films. This one seems obvious, but we've extended our philosophy outside of just student films to be applied to films that look like someone's first rodeo, where they're just trying to do their best. Dead giveaways are the production company that they're with, really bad acting, and just the most tropey cliches you have ever seen in your life.
Higher expectations for more moolah. It should go without saying. Yeah. But that should go without saying. But you know, we're all there, so let's all just have a collective The more money being thrown at a production, the more one would think that the trailer would come out looking great, even if the film itself is terrible. At least you'd be able to afford some sort of halfway decent trailer that can communicate the story, the themes, and some of the characters.
Higher expectations for big name actors. Sometimes actors decide to be really chill people.
Like our fucking cat.
You have a mutual contact and decide to reach out to them for your indie film with a micro budget or YouTube short. And they say yes. Sometimes an actor is just trying to collect a paycheck and you can really tell. However, for the studio, if you can afford to pay an actor at their rate, you can afford a single goddamn lighting guy. Can you believe I pulled off my film with a measly $5 million? $5 million. Can you believe it?
Higher expectations for highly divisive topics. Listen, I love me a risky film. Give me your weird, your gross, your abundance of nudity, the wretched art house film, the heartbreaking drama, and of course, the social commentary. If you are going to tackle a truly divisive topic, at the very least, try to actually make a point instead of just a tasteless cash grab.
And with all that said, I think it's time for our dishonorable mentions.
Up first, Beanie Mania.
Beanie Man!
I almost said it too.
Coming soon to Marvel. Coming soon to the MCU.
He's just really gassy all the time. Beanie Mania. Now, it is not easy to make a trailer for a documentary. Documentary trailers are often laden with problems like, you know, audience expectations around material, making a compelling narrative, and, of course, not being Ken Burns. As someone who grew up in the 90s and peak Beanie Baby fever, like my mom still has our 4 different Princess Diana bears, this trailer did nothing to capture the insanity that the title so clearly suggests. Not only that, but the footage that they chose to cut into this trailer is not even particularly well shot. No internal narrative, just Beanie Babies. 1.5 out of 5 Beanie Babies, with that 0.5 for nostalgia only.
Castle Falls. This is the kind of trailer that just feels offensive. It's not crass or anything. It's just that every single aspect of this trailer feels subpar. Every moment of dialogue from this film is cringy, as is the shakiest camera work I've seen since Hunger Games. What's more, it seems like they shot this on a 10-year-old DSLR and then just left it on the default settings. This isn't even a B movie. In fact, I say this looks more like a student film, but it has Dolph Lundgren in it. Wait a minute. What the hell? Look, you're Dolph Lundgren. You can do whatever you want. And apparently you have, since this is the 7th film you've made, with another one on the way. But like, there's no way you need the money, right? You're in the next Minions movie, for God's sake. I have no problem with you making silly little action films on the side, but please, just shell out the dough for a decent crew. Or maybe an acting coach. 1.5 million out of 5 million. It's 1.5 out of 5.
Implanted. Listen, the past 2 years have been beyond the pale. Everything that was good went bad, and everything that was bad went worse.
Some of us haven't been outside in 2 years.
You're not in the frame.
We are also beyond pale.
I hate to even have this trailer on this countdown, on this channel, because I personally find the premise alone morally reprehensible, because it plays on a lot of the disinformation spread around about the SHOT series that good patriotic citizens need to take if they can. The trailer is also horrendous, luckily for us. Watching this makes me feel like a preschool teacher whose unruly charges have won and successfully beating me down, and I'm on the ground begging you to please just stop. 1.5 out of 5G.
Alpha Rift. It's 2022. It's a great time to be a nerd. Some of the biggest celebrities in the world openly play D&D. The video game industry makes more money than God, and Marvel Comics runs the goddamn world. That being said, being mainstream also has its caveats. I admit, I'm the kind of nerd that when a giant D20 flashes across the screen 5 seconds in, my heart is a little aflutter.
Oh.
What came to pass was a barrage of the most unfunny, ham-fisted, you are the chosen one tropes that you have ever seen, with the most punchable male lead since Valerian.
What do you expect us to wear, a panda suit?
1.5 glowing green eggs out of 5. Only because it seems like the art department tried, because nobody else did.
An unloving round of middle fingers for our dishonorable mentions. Hey, and now to the main event. Starting with number 5, Cruella.
It's a world of opportunity. And I was meant for more in this life. I want to make art. And I want to make trouble.
Whether you have the killer instinct is the big question.
I hope I do. hear me roar.
All right, we should put on some music or something. Lighten the mood.
I didn't think we needed this story. I'll be honest with you. I thought we had all had it covered in the title song of Twisted by Star Kid.
I only wish to have a coat made out of toppings.
Why would you do that?
There were a few different trailers for Cruella, but unfortunately the one I saw first was, in a word, a mess. It was extremely inconsistent, with an unclear internal narrative that seemed to be trying to make a point of some kind. Though it looked like some of the art direction was maybe good, I couldn't see it with the cut of this trailer. Seriously, who edited this? There's no time to sympathize with our protagonist, so all you get is a sense of poor me, now I'm a full-time dad! To be honest, I'm on Emma Thompson's character's side in this cut. It's not your fault, Emma Stone, it's the editor's. That being said, it doesn't end up the worst of the worst thanks to the art direction. Okay, well, mainly just this moment, which is still, frankly, kind of ham-fisted. But it's pretty. 1 out of 5 puppies. Side note, now that the review is over, please go check out Mina Lay's video on why Cruella is just a bad idea start to finish.
Number 4. Welcome to Resident Evil Raccoon City. Raccoon City, Resident Welcome Evil.
The evil resident welcome to the city of raccoons.
Every story has a beginning. Discover the origin of evil.
Why are you back here, Claire? Your conspiracies weren't true when we were kids. They're not true now.
We need to expose Umbrella. Watch this.
I'm afraid, Claire. I'm afraid of what they're gonna do to this town. You see, Umbrella, they had an incident. I'm talking Chernobyl, if you know what I mean. People are getting sick. You gotta help us, Claire. Let the world know what's really going on.
We have to contain this.
Trying to get up that great big hill of hope
Shall we go?
for a destination. Into a crisis of times when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out. What's in my head? And I didn't feel it.
What were Umbrella doing here?
This is where they're experimenting on him.
A little peculiar.
We should split up.
Into a wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream for the top of my lungs. What's going on?
What the?
And I say,
We gotta get out of here.
We're gonna take Umbrella down.
Discover the origin of evil. 2021 should have been the year for Resident Evil. In the 26-year-old video game franchise, there's been some good games, some boring games, some really problematic games, but 2021's Resident Evil Village really stomped its way back into the cultural zeitgeist.
Lady, step on me, mommy. Big titty mama.
And in this year, Capcom would decide to rid their shackles of their default director, who has directed every Resident Evil movie for the last 20 years. Paul W.S. Anderson, who should never be mistaken for Paul Thomas Anderson.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Or Wes Anderson.
She's been murdered, and you think I did it.
Hey! Stop! has directed all 6 of the prior Resident Evil movies with his wife Mila Jovovich as the lead. This guy blew up after the insane camp of the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie, which is actually somewhat enjoyable, and Event Horizon, which is considered by many to be a sci-fi classic. But then he has proceeded to follow these up with a myriad of the most lazy, bottom-tier, garbage action films that rely on pre-existing fan bases to make a quick check. So now we have a full series reboot and a new director. And we have gone from a franchise that had absolutely nothing to do with the source material to one that, yes, appears to be pretty faithful, but is also 20 years too late. Let's address the in the room. I get the concept. Take a nostalgic song, play it over a trailer with a wildly different tone. Oh, and make sure there's a lyric that when taken out of context, literally sounds like it applies to the plot.
It's been 24 hours to go. I wanna be sedated. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. California dreaming.
But you know, usually you make a creepy cover of the song. This one just ends up sounding completely tone deaf to have a serious, gritty story about a pandemic and human experimentation with what's going on playing in the background. Also, I should mention that this series thrives on camp. None of the big moments hit how they should. Terrible dialogue, dated CGI, jarring music, and a plot completely tone deaf to the world that we live in today and all of the zombie movies we have seen in the last 2 decades. 1 umbrella out of 5.
Number 3, Fortress.
Here we have all the amenities. Pool, target range, river with loads of fish. Here we are.
Good to see you, Paul.
You look well, Dad.
I stay busy. We gotta talk.
What is this place, Dad?
It's complicated.
Were those gunshots?
Where is he? Yes. Get to the fortress.
We're leaving.
What's the fortress?
It's our emergency shelter. Who are they?
Frederick Balzari.
What does he want?
Me.
You know, I should go help my dad. He probably doesn't even know how to use that thing. I have a serious grievance with you and your government.
It's your government, too.
I will be knocking on your door.
There's sitting ducks out there. Right here.
Go!
I'm that kind of dad, I guess.
Be strong.
I'm on my way.
He's a notorious criminal that we've been tracking for years.
No one robs from me. Woo! How many people must die? I'm not leaving here without my father.
Neither am I.
No one leaves this mountain.
I should have killed you.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Anybody home?
Any last words?
All transactions are final.
You coming?
Nah, I'm having fun.
This has been quite a year for Bruce Willis. Unfortunately, most of the flicks he starred in were,
So here's what's what. Solve the disappearance of Bridget Baker.
Or
I start sending out John Keats piece by piece till you got them all.
you're good. Kid, I'm better than good. I'm bacon and eggs on Sunday morning.
Something, huh? We didn't know whether to burn it or put it in a museum.
I'm sure they said the same thing about me. My son?
Cops killed him.
It's a bit more complicated than that.
It's crystal clear to me.
Different. Nothing like you. I got shot today, and I'm tied up. And you still hit like a bitch.
Fortress particularly falls down on the dialogue chosen for this trailer. I wouldn't like to think that Willis would provide this flat of delivery.
Yes.
Every single line, every single moment in context. The internal narrative is a disaster already at 51 seconds into a 3-minute trailer. They stuck this clip sequence
Where is he?
at the top of the trailer, which had me thinking that this guy was the villain. And then they said this name.
Frederick Balzari.
First of all, wild name, my guy. And secondly, that person is in fact Chad Michael Murray, who, by the way, has not aged a day. Then follows a series of one-liner cringe that leaves the plot to absolutely no imagination, which is, I guess, kind of good, because that means I don't have to see this film at all. Then we have hot blonde lady does sexy fight scene in sexy Lara Croft ripoff costume, which, to be clear, is not an inherently bad thing. As a certified stage combatant myself, that stuff is hard and really awesome, and you feel great doing it. Also, being hot and blonde is not a crime. That being said, it's so dang tropey. Ugh, does it need to be in the trailer? No, it's unnecessary. Let us be surprised by her dope skills, like Jesse Metcalfe, who is clearly framed as the audience stand-in. Let's be as surprised as he is. Also, everyone seems to be in a different movie. An action movie can and should have some lighthearted comedic moments in it, or maybe some romantic or sexy moments in it. That's great, that's fine. But the scenes this editor chose to put in and the way they put them in has every person in a different film. Stop it! Also, this whole thing just seems an excuse to shoot on a tropical island while everyone else is under quarantine. So they probably shot it in Guam, somewhere else in the South Pacific, or the Caribbean, or Puerto Rico. Yeah, I'm sure Puerto Rico could comfortably sustain a large action film being filmed during a pandemic. I'm sure that was fine. Also, you know, the last moment of a trailer really needs to be the most impactful moment. It's gotta be punchy. It's gotta be clear. It's gotta be distinct. And if you were going with text as your final moment, it needs to be, at minimum, hashtagable. There's only one place to hide. Chad Michael Murray, I loved you then. I love you still. You're not scary. You can't be scary. You're not even vaguely threatening in any of those scenes. Truly, 1 out of 5 water guns.
Number 2, Bad Trip.
We are about to embark on the trip of a lifetime.
Why did you do that?
Don't play with me, mother. I don't think we ever gonna get out of this town.
I'm telling you, seeing Maria today, that was a positive omen.
Maria!
Oh my God,
I
Chris.
haven't seen you in forever.
If you're ever in Manhattan, I'll show you around.
Great.
Okay. Yes.
I'll see you
Great
later.
seeing you, Chris.
Look at our lives, man. Spinning our wheels, bullshit job after bullshit job. Can you just hit that on switch on the vacuum for me? Thanks, man. Oh my God, turn it off! Oh, I'm gonna get fired again. Oh, shit. It's finally time for that big adventure, brother. I'm talking road trip to the motherfucking promised land. The NYC.
We're not taking my sister's car, man. She will kill us.
Your sister's in jail. She'll never know.
Oh my God! Don't tell nobody. I'll kill every single one of you white motherfuckers. Snitches get stitches.
We got 4 whole days. We can kick back, relax, and breathe in America. Want to turn around? I'll hold it for you. Shit! Somebody turn it off! I swallow some of it. I like to make a toast.
What the fuck are you doing up there?
He's a little nervous. We're the only black guys in here.
Get down
I
from
love
there.
You seen these dudes right here? They stole my car. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta...
Oh, fuck the police! Holy shit!
Sorry, I thought the window was open. Why did you do that?
You asked for a fucking jump. Don't play with me, motherfucker.
I couldn't have done this without you. I know. Dude, I'm gonna get a selfie with the gorilla.
be? Oh, Lord, have mercy. What y'all looking at? Mind your goddamn business. I'm from the street. People from the street don't hang people from roofs.
Okay, first off, this genre, whatever it is, whether it's the Eric Andre Show, Jackass, Sacha Baron Cohen, or YouTubers filming people without their consent, it's just not my jam. That being said, this has got to be a particularly poor entry in the laugh at normal people making normal reactions to batshit actors who are obviously on film genre. Like Cohen and Bad Grandpa before them, they really try to justify the length of a feature film by putting out some sort of loose plot. Unlike those films, Eric Andre and director Kitao Sakurai have spun an entire Will Ferrell-esque comedy on top of the cringe reaction gimmick. What this results in is an extremely confusing trailer where you're never given time to get invested in the characters, the story, or the goofs. Love interest Maria is introduced and then never seen again. Terrible blender joke where Andre pulls his hand out of the blender completely intact and continues to flail around. See, I can see these type of films actually being somewhat entertaining if the stunts were actually shocking. If Andre pulled his hand out of the blender and it was actually torn up, you might see the reactions of the people in that room and identify with them. Not only are we in on the joke here, but Eric Andre's character doesn't appear to do things for any apparent reason. He's just a normal person, but he ends up in scenarios that are so incredibly cartoonishly stupid, they end up feeling fake. The thing about Sacha Baron Cohen, or Bad Grandpa, that made people enjoy them is that they're playing these incredibly cartoonish caricatures. Just the most absolutely insane personalities possible. But because of the world you live in, you're still gonna get a portion of the population that's willing to believe that it's real. But instead of a crazy character, Andre and Howery decide to play straight man to their own antics, and then also proceed to do cartoonish things that no one in real life would ever do. It's entirely possible that these jokes land a tiny bit better when they're in their full context, but as far as the trailer goes, I'm not holding my breath. Bad Trip gets 1 meat smoothie out of 5.
We know that going over all of these horrible, awful, terrible, no good, very bad trailers has been rough. Our shining light through this whole process has been our wonderful subscribers. So we wanted to shout out some of you as a thank you for being part of our channel.
So thank you to Amy Stagno, Zach R, and Levi Johnson. You are just 3 of our many subscribers that have joined us here in 2021, and we're hoping that many more will join us in 2022. So feel free to share this to your friends. If you don't like this show, share it with your enemies.
Thank you so much to all of our subscribers. We're excited for what this year is going to bring.
Let's get back to number 1.
Warning!
What am I gonna get, an android up here?
An android's not an approved expense.
Can you really put a value on human life?
An asteroid 2 miles wide will fly by Earth.
The public is being warned not to panic.
Something follows me. I see it all the time. Stop living in my past.
You are basically going to sleep while his mind takes over your body.
It's easier to live in an illusion than it is in reality.
Not everyone is blessed with the luxury of eternal life.
God, how many sins have I committed this month?
9 sins this month.
I wonder what he's thinking about, floating up there all by himself.
You have 6 days, 11 hours, 34 minutes left.
Yeah, good luck with your thoughts and prayers, man.
Turn off.
I don't want to live without you.
Time just becomes more precious.
Come on, have some fun.
I've never felt more alive my entire life.
Brace yourselves. The absolute worst trailer of 2021 comes with a title That is also an appropriate label for anyone who was hoping this would turn out well. Much like the actual year of 2021, this trailer was like an entire season of Black Mirror and Don't Look Up had a baby that was left in the clearance section of a convenience store.
There are just so many ideas at play here, and absolutely none of them work together. This year's worst trailer of 2021 has got it all. It's got androids, the value of human life, astronaut accidents, asteroid flying by Earth, hallucinatory stalker, mind control surrogate bodies, eternal life, socioeconomic class division, human augmentation, an AI called God counting your sins, shitty stock footage of army boots, drugs, Dance Dance Revolution, and so many more.
Nearly every line uttered in this trailer is a non sequitur of exposition. Every other frame introduces new concepts and themes that are disconnected from the previous, with no time to digest in between frames. We meet maybe 3 characters, maybe 4, that are again not clearly connected to each other in any way. Listen, if you wanted to have an ensemble, everyone is inevitably going to die kind of a dark comedy, you could have gone with the stunning Silent Night, or with, I don't know, Don't Look Up. But both of those would imply that this is a comedy in the first place. And the first 2 seconds tell me that this is a comedy, then a psychological thriller, then a situational drama, then an apocalypse action flick. It's exhausting.
We see titles that say, "The future is now." And it's clear what the filmmakers...
Wait, whoa. It's clear?
It's clear what the filmmakers' intent is.
I disagree, but continue.
To overwhelm the audience with aspects of the future and or a doomsday scenario. Is this a series of vignettes that are bound together by a single inciting incident? Is this a season of a series that we're seeing the trailer for? The true fault of this trailer is that I'm considering these possibilities knowing full well that the IMDb page says that this is a film. Is there a plot that is buried under all of the insanity?
The cinematography, at least, isn't awful out of hand, but it isn't nearly halfway decent enough to redeem the edit quality, the lack of pacing, and the ability to build up any littlest bit of hype factor at all. The one moment with the CGI asteroids flying towards the Earth is just straight up cartoonish.
Halfway through this trailer, a bland but unoffensive score morphs into an Imagine Dragons-esque track that propels this trailer into a montage of non-exposition, but dialogue that we have absolutely no context for. My conspiracy theory is that this film was never written to have a meteor in it. But the producers saw the trailer of Don't Look Up and the phenomenon that followed it, and they decided to pivot the entire story in that one direction.
0.5 asteroids out of 5. The lowest score ever, by far. The inaugural worst score of all time.
Let's see what beats it.
Hey, maybe the little AI God Pyramid will tell all of these directors and editors exactly what they did wrong.
Thank you so much for joining us here for our yearly wrap-up of 2021's worst trailers of the year. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to be having a best trailers of the year. These were significantly more pleasant to watch.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like button to catch us next week and throughout all of 2022. We're very excited for what we've got coming up. Go ahead and Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and ring the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we upload.
We got some really awesome ideas and content that's going to be coming up here in 2022. We're going to try and make videos more often. We will see what happens in this year.
Thanks for coming along for the ride. We'll see you next time. Bye!